Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. I'm Itzik Amiel, and we are here with a weekly Switch series, Switch It On, where we share ideas, insights, and inspiration to helping you as a professional to switch relationships to revenue, referrals, and reputation and stand out. And you're very much invited. So if you're listening to me right now, I'm live and I'm with you. So just join me in, and you could absolutely type in the chat who you are and where you're dialing from, so I know you are here with me. And to remind you all, every strategy or solution we share in this episode and all the other episodes, we can help you get much more out of it by advising your firm, mentor you or your colleagues, and even execute it for you with our done for you services. So never be shy to ask and get connected. Let me add value to your practice, your organization, or your career. Deal? I hope you're listening to me. So if you're here with me right now, type in the chat box who you are, where you're dialing from, so I know you are with me. Today we're going to be talking about the art of storytelling, or more specifically, about how to tell stories to attract better clients. Now, again, if you're, I see people joining: David, Alina, Gorge, Majez, Rajema, Borani, Manuela, Petzen, Meki, Andrea, Francesca, Bols, Vito. Thank you for all of you for joining. Again, if you are here with me, just type in the chat who you are and you're dialing from, so everybody else also could see and the rest of the people see. It's a great exercise for your personal branding. A thought leadership a thought leadership strategy actually is a must in today's professional services marketplace. If done well, its execution will develop existing and prospective client relationships. See, thought leadership is not only extend visibility, but it can demonstrate your knowledge and understanding of the clients you want to serve, their business. So, in order for you as a professional to position yourself as an industry thought leader, you need to create compelling content. And storytelling is an excellent way to accomplish that. Now, we already know that your specific practice area, of course, alone won't differentiate your practice. You know that. You heard me saying that about a lot of time. But what can, however, is sharing your practice story with the public. People relate to stories. See, they see bits of themselves in your story. They associate the problem in their own lives, and they share, you see, the joy and the reward when the main character in your story finally achieve their goals. People hire professional based on trust. You know that, right? By visually telling your story to connect with potential clients, humanize your firm to build trust and rapport with these specific clients. And once the trust is built, the stage is set to turn a lead into a consultation, and from there into becoming a client. And so in this episode, I want to share with you, based on my personal experience and experience of thousands of other professionals and professional firm I help in the last more than a decade, the right way to tell your stories and to really convert your connection to clients and attract better clients to your practice. Today, I will share it with you. And hopefully, you find that what I'm going to share with the advice useful and practical, and you'll be able to craft your unique stories out of it. Okay. So I hope that's okay with all of you there. And see people already commenting. Thank you very much, Florenza, for joining. Of nice being you with me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Don't be shy to share who you are. I know all of you there, but I want you to share your name. And if you have, of course, question, definitely be my client, my guest, to share it also in the chat. But before I go deeper to share with you, again, we were speaking about the art of storytelling. Those of you joining right now, and I see you, thank you very much for joining. And again, if you have questions, as I said, please put it in the chat, and that's the only way I can answer you, that I know that you have a question. But before we sharing with you the different ways to tell a story and attract better clients, I want to answer a preliminary question that probably a lot of us, if you're a very practical lawyer or working in a law firm, asking yourself, what so great about storytelling, right? You should ask this question to yourself because you heard many people talking about the subject, but you need to understand first why before you do something. So, what's so great about storytelling? It is not about the language, it's about the telling and creating the stories in a powerful way. Because in doing so, you, as the storyteller, generate a story that easily remembered and will be unique to you and your practice because it's your story. Nobody can share it with you. You see, that's only you, and that's already by itself unique to yourself. The challenge is in figuring out how to share the story, how to share that story of yours in a way that aligns with the needs and priorities of your prospect, of your client. And that's actually the question. So do not do the mistake many professionals I see do make, and I see a lot of business development, marketing, and many law firms make. The practical brand storytelling is not about your practice. It's about your client and the value that they get when engaging with your services. So you see, the story is about your clients, not about you. You should not be the hero of your own story. Then you're missing the point. When you develop your story, you need to identify how your services help your clients. What problems do you solve? Can you answer that question? What benefits do you offer? Another question to answer in your story. What differentiates your services from your competitors if you have competitors? Think about those questions, and that should be part of your story. Typically, telling stories through content creation is a bit out of your comfort zone. I understand. I know that. As a lawyer to lawyers, I understand that. And I get it firsthand because I struggle with myself. So that's why my next question should be on your behalf is how? How to tell stories to attract better clients. And I guess that's the reason I love you here and joining because you want to know if we know how to tell the right stories, we're going to get the benefits you want. So let me share with you a few ways you as a professional can use storytelling to attract better client. And pay attention, not just more client, to attract better client because you want to get better client, not just client who calling you, right? So you see the story help you select even the client you want to attract. Again, if you have any question, type it in the chat box. If you join me right now, you're very welcome to put your name and who are you dialing from in the chat so I know you are with me. And I start with way number one. Way number one is understand your audience. The first step of any business development strategy is understanding your audience. And I hope a lot of you dealing with it know that's a typical thing. You need to understand who you're talking to. What are their demographic? What are the pain points? What doesn't let them sleep at night? What is their values? You need to know as much as you can about your potential clients. Now, once you understand your audience, you understand your clients, you can tailor your message to communicate specific solutions to their goals, to their problems. Logic, right? Nothing special here, right? So ask yourself questions like, is your typical client looking for the most affordable solution to the problem? Or does your client base look at for the best solution, not necessarily the affordable? Question to ask yourself. How familiar are they with the process, with your firm? What emotions are they feeling when they call you? How do you know? You ask them, your experiences, you know, you met a lot of your clients. Now, I suggest to you to answer this question for yourself first before you go there and craft your story. Because these things will vary greatly across firms, across practice areas, sometimes even culture. But once you understand your audience, you can use your unique story to appeal to them. So please do not start sharing your story without understanding your clients first. And that's the way number one to really get better client to your practice. Way number two to attract better client by storytelling is highlight your why. Highlight your why. With so many professionals offering, and you know that we all know that similar services, what you do may not be enough to differentiate your practice. And I hope that's clear by now to a lot of you. So strive to communicate your unique value proposition. And how do you do that? You do that through your why. If you explain your why, if you know your why, you know your purpose, you know the meaning of what you're doing, it's easier to communicate because your why helps build trust with potential clients by establishing the reasons for doing what you do and communicating that through your message. So, why should they hire you over any other professional out there? That's the question you need to know to answer. So, for example, to one of my mentoring clients, we have created a special promo video. Okay. And this professional began this video with a statement. He said, and let me quote, what I've always wanted to do is help small business owner. I feel like that's my mission in life. You see what a strong word he talked about it because he really believe in it. That's a huge why. And he immediately connects viewers to his own story by focusing on this why, what he does, what he does. See, helping small business, of course, that's what he does. Rather than the what that he practiced in commercial law in that case. See, connecting to the why, not to the what, not to the how. Many mistakes a lot of people professionals do when they tell the story, instead of telling the why, they communicate only the what. In two sentences, you see that by what the guy said in the video, he cuts to the core of his audience need, getting help. Okay, hope you get it. Again, if you have questions on everything I'm sharing with you right now, type it in the chat box. I'll help you out. You ready for the next way to tell stories? Way number 3? Yes? But before I share it with you and go deeper to explain, again, I want to say hello to those who join me now: Florenza, Garney, Duv, Tajuni, Benjamin, Sam, Alexandra, Filissimo, Benji, Dovi, Alexandrev, Mikael. Thank you very much for all of you. I know that it's an interesting subject, and I'm trying to dive very much to practical solutions, so bear with me. Have question, put it in the chat. I'll help you out. We're speaking about the art of storytelling. Those of you joining me right now, and I'd be happy to share with you the next way of crafting your story, sharing your story in order to attract better client to your practice. So let's continue with way number 3 to test and get the client. Way number 3 is drive and emotional connection. Drive and emotional connection. See, I mentioned many times, if you heard me before, that the art of business development is the interplay between logical mind and emotional heart. Logical mind and emotional heart. So when it comes down to it, people make most of their decision based on emotions, not logic, right? All of us do that. See, P. Salvi and J.D. Meyer in their book called Emotional Intelligence, Imagination, Cognition, and Personality mention few reasons why is that. And let me quote them. They said, first, emotion require less effort than logic for us as humans. Logic solicited cognitive efforts where emotion is automatic. It's done by the subconscious mind. Another reason, messaging aimed at engaging your viewers, your prospective client in that case. Emotions are more interesting and memorable than solely the logical ones. So that's why emotion is powerful. Another one, they're saying emotional based argument are often easier to recall than logic based argument. You want another one? Emotion almost always leads more quickly to change than logic does. And those of you looking for change, fast change, emotion. That's why I talk about a lot of time when I'm training law firm about this mindset, about the emotional part, because it's very easy to trigger, very easy to create change. The same here. So don't tell prospective client what to think or what is the best solution. Like again, many law firm doing it. I'm seeing it on online, on LinkedIn. I see what you're sharing. Instead, help them discover for themselves what feels right, what feels best, and most advance this through emotional storytelling. And ultimately, potential client decision is based on their own self-interest because people care about themselves, right? And with this knowledge, you could use your unique story to connect with potential clients, build rapport with them, and inspire trust. And after all, that's a very important component to select you over the other ones. So here are the keys to building an emotional connection through storytelling. You ready for that? First, Begin with something relatable and something your audience can agree with. This is, by the way, another tip when you're speaking in public. We do the same. Start with something people say right away, yes, absolutely. Then increase the tension with difficulties that characters must overcome. Because there's a difficulty, you need to overcome the difficulty. And as any other story, the climax when characters overcome the problem, the challenge, and provide a solution. And at the end, provide a hope and call to action, because that's what drive, of course, action of the audience. Got it? So this is in very short the stages. You can use emotion to craft your story and attract better client. And that's why it's way number 3, to tell your story and to attract better client. Are you ready to move on to the next way? Way number 4, again, to remind you, if you have question, type it in chat box. If you're joining right now, you can also mention your name, where you're dialing from, in the chat box. And way number 4 is use clients' testimonials. Again, way number 4 is use client testimonials. No one can communicate the benefits of your services better than someone who was experiencing them. When looking to share your story with potential client, one of the best way to do this is through client testimonials. Yes, client testimonials. Because at 89%, client testimonials have the highest effectiveness rating for all types of content marketing. You listen to me carefully, 89%. That's why if you don't do it, you're missing big time. Furthermore, 92% of consumers around the world say they trust earned media, which means testimonials, reviews, above all other form of advertising, like a word and all kind of other stuff people using because they think it helps. It doesn't help anything, but it helps is really testimonials, real testimonials from real people about your value. That also counts for professional services and for our industry. Incorporating client testimonials in your story will build rapport and really communicate your story through the lens of someone who has experienced it. Your story becomes more reliable, right? Because if other people have been there, that's probably true. Got it? So you got the number 4 way to tell stories in a way that attract better clients. Again, hi to those of you joining me right now. Remember, by the way, that you could find more information within the Switch membership community. But everything I'm sharing with you, you can find more information if you want to. After, if you're interested in the subject, you want to learn more, you can go to hub.theswitch.ch/join us, where the membership community, the Switch, when I share much more about it and really boost systems and steps you need to take in order to really see the client coming your way. Again, hub.theswitch.ch/join us. And that's the Switch community. Those who asked me last time, here you go. Or feel free, by the way, to send me any DM or PM or an email to learn more and to join us. So you're always welcome to approach me. Now, we're speaking about the art of storytelling, and I'm glad that all of you joining me, and I see that how many people joined today because I see they appreciate the subject. I know it's interesting, all of us, because it's part of our job, but we don't craft it right. So my next and the last way I want to share with you in order to craft a story and attract better client is way number 5 is create quality content. Create quality content. Remember, your marketing is a direct reflection of your practice, of your services. So potential clients often see brand image as the differentiator between good and bad professionals. And high quality and high value clients can be deterred by low quality way of sharing your story. So just sharing your story in a low quality way will actually take people away from you. In fact, recent study has shown that 62% of clients are more likely to have a negative perception of a business that's published a poor quality content. 62%. So if you want to communicate your value and attract better client or high value cases to your practice, your storytelling and sharing strategy needs to reflect this goal. And I remember doing it with a few arbitration lawyer and huge results over here because When you attract clients to your practice, if you do arbitration, mediation, story play a big, big role over here, like any other practice law, by the way. Because creating quality content will help you brand your practice as authoritative. And that's part when I teach personal branding, that's exactly one of the reasons for it. Okay? So I hope you understand that part. Again, if you have any question, that's the time to type it in the chat box and let me see if there's any question coming in before I will summarize my stuff. But you heard 5 ways today of telling your stories and crafting your story in order to attract better clients to your practice. As I wanted you to see in this episode, storytelling is a powerful tool. It gives us the ability, if you want, to reach out and connect through words and creating content that connects to your clients. But you don't have to be a writer. So don't get me wrong, you don't have to be a writer or even love writing to become a good storyteller. Why should professionals use stories and storytelling techniques in the business development activities, you're asking? Because it turned out researchers have found that most decision making, including in business, including professional services, is driven by our emotion, as I mentioned today. We like to believe we are logical, but in reality, we use data and facts to post rationalize the decision our emotion already driven us to make. Yes, emotion. So, to help you structure your own story to insert in your practice based development strategy, here are some guiding questions I want to give you at the end of the year. And please write it down for yourself because I want you to remember this. You should ask yourself a question like, what is the story and the narrative behind everything you do as a brand, as a firm, ranging from what you stand for to the reason why you're giving services X or decided to support a good cause Y? How can you get to that story that's part of your brand, even people DNA, instead of just the facts? Okay. Question number 2: how do you actually connect with people in the language they understand best? The language they can visualize in the story-like context. And even further, how do you create the stories that will cause a change in a behavior or a change in a perception by your potential clients? Question number 3, I wanted you to ask yourself: what type of stories appeal to your potential clients? Or if you want to stay closer to the art of storytelling and human emotion, if you don't know, go ask them. Question number 4: what about the stories your clients and audiences are already telling? Are you listening to those? Because you can find it all over the internet, online, on their own website. How do you listen to those and include their stories in your story? How can you even come to some of the form of collaboration or collaborative storytelling that goes far beyond any reach or goal you imagine? But I'm giving you now golden nuggets. If you write it down, you'll see these are golden nuggets because now you're connecting the story of your client to your own stories. That makes the bonding already there. Question number 5: how much control can you realistically have in an age where the value of the brand, and I'm talking about it a lot of time, increasingly is in the eye of the beholder, your client, and their social connections? Where perception is more personality, trust, openness, transparency, authenticity, relevant, and participation. How can storytelling with these shifts in mind play your practice brand in the mind, hearts, and wallets of your potential clients? And question number 6: how can you use your storytelling in less branding related ways and in more demand generating related context? Are there any differences? Do the same principle I told you today apply? Think about it. And number 7, how do you make use of digital information and the user generated content out there that we all know out there, as well as all these new ways we have to tell stories in a digital storytelling, which is a whole different arena. And we have so many tools for free that we're not using. So if you're listening to me right now, my advice to you, start creating and sharing your stories. You will see the difference it can make to your practicing, to your practice and building your authority and attracting definitely better client to you and to your practice. So to summarize this great session, let me share a quote by Seth Godin, who said marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories you tell. And again, as a lawyer to a lawyer, not as a marketeer, as a lawyer, I'm telling you this is important stuff that you are the only one who could tell your own stories. Some people can help you, but you are the one who should tell better the stories because it's your emotion. You've been there and you can see. As we say, facts tell, stories sell. So now, my friend, it's time to take action and implement everything you heard from me sharing with you today. I hope it helps you a bit looking at things in a different way, in different perspective. I trust you got interesting insights on how to tell your stories to attract better clients. If you need our help in implementing it in your practice, or if you just want to learn how to build your authority in your field and your personal brand, this is exactly what we do for our client. And I'm inviting you very much to connect and let's discuss. Professionals like you and me around the world, when we train them, we mentor them, and definitely personally with me, and even doing the work for them by implementing these strategies in your practice. So send me an email, send me a PM message, and see how can I help you. Next week, we have another amazing top expert to discuss a new practical strategy to grow your practice and build better relationship, reputation, and referrals. If you want to make sure you don't miss one of our weekly Switch On interview series, follow me on LinkedIn or tick up the bell on my LinkedIn profile or go to the Switch Hub website and you can sign up there and you can find more information about the community. And again, the link is hub.theswitch.ch. And when you go there, you'll find more information on the business development, strategies, and tips. You can also check and register to one of my new online courses, a live workshop, how to turn connections to client, how to network in live event, how to compass networking conferences, etc., personal branding. Or you can join, of course, the Switch membership community to learn more how to grow your practice and brand. You see so many opportunities, so many ways. I'm here to serve you and help you out. You're very welcome again to send me a PM or email and ask your question and see how can I be of value to you and your practice. For now, I want to thank each one of you for being here, to staying till the end. I hope you got a lot of much information. And thank you for joining us. See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And remember, switch on and start to craft your own stories. Bye for now, everybody. Nice seeing you.